So we're going to look at the air cards right now. And you will see the F5, E, and F have a 5% chance and a 5% chance with the fatter missile. If you get the upgrade over here, which costs you 25 points, and only if the PRC is a supporter, it only goes up to 10. Same for the F4. However, the AIM 7 does have a 10% chance. Up here to the fish bed, 5 and 5. Tomcat, 5 and 5, plus a 10 on that. The MiG-29 is the only thing with a decent chance, a 30 or 40% or up to 45% chance. Coming over here to the Israelis, you'll see that they usually have a 85 or 80% chance with one missile. Add a second missile in there and you're up to 95%. So as you can tell, you're doing really good against F4 and F5s, and then of course, 80% on a F14 if you have two missiles. Again and again. So that is what it looks like if you get into a dogfight. Now remember, on the dogfight chart over here, when you roll, there's only a 3% chance you're going to be in the dogfight zone. Well, 4%, 97, 98, 99, and 100. And that just gives you these missiles right here. Anything else, the only thing you have to shoot is the R-27 up here in BVR Zone 2, and that's from the MiG-29. The AIM 54, of course, is up here, but still you're at 5% chance, where with the R-27 you're at a 35 to 45% chance. So if you look at this, you've got a 60% chance, well, excuse me, 80% chance of being beyond visual range to shoot anything, and then you only have very small chance to get into the range of anything else. So in my opinion, there is no reason to get the missile upgrade. So that's some points you can keep for yourself right there. The other thing about the missile upgrade is that for the PL8 or PL5, requires the PRC to be a supporter at the beginning of the game. Now, the other way to do that is with the R-27 from the Russians. Again, has to be a supporter at the beginning of the game. So let's go look at the beginning of the game real quick. The beginning of the game, to be a supporter, is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a -6 on anybody's chart. So, China will be a -6 in 3, 4 of the games, whereas Russia is just a -3. So it doesn't look like you'll ever get the Russians to be a supporter at the beginning of the game, only China. So that just leaves you with the PL5 and PL8, and like I said, I don't see any reason to get those. It's only a 5% chance. So that's looking at the cards for the Iranians and the Israelis. Something else to look at is how many missiles you have and how many salvos you have. So here you've got 4 of each type, and you only get, well, 4 of the one type. This one here is the upgrade, which we've already said we're not going to do. But you're shooting 2 salvos of 2 and still only have the 5% chance. Now, if you look at the Israelis, well, let's go back to the Iranians real quick. So 4, alright, with 2 salvos of 2. This may be a misprint because you have 2 missiles and it should only be 1 salvo there. Similar to here, 2, 2, 2, 1 salvo. 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. Now, that's because the Iranians are always shooting 2 missiles at a time. Now the Israelis are only shooting 1 missile. So here you got two salvos, but you're only shooting 1 missile. And again, 1 missile gives you 85% chance. If you do shoot the second missile, 95% chance. Alright, same up here. 222, 222, 2222, 424, 424. So, that shows you the percentage chance of the Iranians to actually shoot down the Israelis, which is, as it's said in some games, nil. Now, looking at the EM55 mine, it's 35 points. It gives you a +2 on this table right here. So, to block the Straits of Hormuz, you would first of all put 1 to 7 military points into doing that. So, always do 7. There's +2 because of the mines, so you either get a partial or a complete. I always hope for the complete, but you could also get a partial. Now, once you've done that, we have to come over here. We'll say we have a complete, then we roll a D10. Now here, both players can spend up to 2 political points. Each political point adds 1 to the die, of course, or removes 1 to the die. Israeli is minus, Iranian plus. And here is what will happen with the complete. 1 through 5, 6 through 10. You get to roll D10s on the US, Saudi Arabia, UN, or PRC. So, if you are the Israelis, you of course want people to be happy with you. If you are the Iranians, it wouldn't be bad to get the PRC happy with you. Or to roll the Saudis down so they can't, the Israeli can't come through Saudi Arabia, or possibly the U.S. so Israel can't come through Iraq. So that is using the EM55 mines to close the Straits of Hormuz. So let's talk about getting the Seljil 2 Ballistic Missile Battalion. There's 30 points each, and you get a max of 2 battalions. Now each battalion has 4 launchers. So, with the Shahab 3 that you already have, there are 8 launchers. You buy that upgrade, you'll have another 8 launchers. Now, the Shahab shoots every other turn. The Seljil can shoot the turn you order it. So 4, 8, 12, 16 missiles can be in the air at one time. Now, once you're done saying you want to, and it costs 1 point per, 1 military point per, you roll a die to see how many missiles don't actually leave. 7 being the most number on a 12 is 1 each, so there's going to be approximately 3, 6, 9, 12 missiles in the air. Now for the Israeli response. Something to think about, however, was roll a D10 for each raid or battalion and see if they match. Therefore, you could saturate a target. So that will have to be done. Here are the defenses. The SM-3 would shoot first if you have an Arleigh Burke or Aegis cruiser. You'll be able to shoot at 3 or 4 targets with 2 missiles each. Now that's against 1 raid. If you have 4 raids, it gets to shoot 4 separate attack or times at each raid. Next comes the Arrow 2, 6 targets at 2 missiles apiece. Then a Pac 3 or Patriot battery, 2 missiles at 2 targets. Now, the Arrow 2 guards the entire Israeli area, whereas the Patriot battery will only guard 1 for here, 1 for here, 1 for here, or 1 for here. Now they have up from a 60 to a 70% chance to shoot down a missile, but that's of course twice, so 70 times 2, you're most likely to get it. 60 times 2, you're most likely to get it. Now, before the Iranian player launched missiles, he was to choose which was he going against: urban target, airfield, missile stowage, or military base. Now, missile stowage, there's a 1% chance to do anything. Military base, from 91 to 100. Not very good. Airfield, from 96 to 100. Again, not very good. However, against an urban target, it's 77 to 100. Now, 77 to 96, you get 1 political point. In one of these, you get 1, 2, or 3 die that you get to roll against the Israeli opinion track. However, the backfire might happen. Come over here to backfire, and you're rolling a d10, and the number was a backfire of 6. If the roll is equal to or greater than the backfire number 6 or higher, something else happened. 5 or less, and everything was good for the Iranians. So it's basically a 50-50 shot if something good or something bad happens when the Iranian shoots a ballistic missile.